it up a little bit. I get down here amongst you this evening. Good to see everybody back fighting this cold. But it's got a nice warm building in here, huh? We're in Psalms 38. Psalms 38. This psalm is an interesting psalm. I've titled the lesson, I'm Hurting for a Reason. When we look at this psalm, I just want to bring in a couple of verses here real quick before we start talking about what the writer is saying. In verse number 3, he says, there is no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There is no health in my bones because of my sin. He says in verse 5, my wounds stick and fester because of my foolishness. He says again in verse 18, I confess my iniquity. I am sorry for my sin. You see what the writer is saying, right? Just in those few verses, we get the idea. Whose sin is the writer talking about? His own. He says, my sin. You know, we have a tendency to go before God blaming other people for our situation. We have a tendency to say, you know, I've sinned, but. God, I'm sorry for doing this, but. And you know what that means, right? Forget what I just said. Now I'm going to tell you how I really feel. You know, we want to blame other people, or we want to blame our situation, or we want to blame other things. It's hard for us to take responsibility for our sins, even as adults. We get on to our children for that. But yet as adults, it's difficult for us sometimes. Why is it so hard for us to just go before God and say, I have sinned. Forgive me for what I have done. Because you say, I think sometimes it's easy for us to do that. It's easy to accept responsibility sometimes, but then there's other times. And I'm thinking maybe it's when things are really bad. Maybe when something is really painful. Maybe when I've done something so bad that I wish I hadn't, I want to somehow blame that on. Well, I did it because of this. You know, God doesn't ask us for any justification. God's not wanting to know what our excuses are. God just wants us to confess our sin. Just wants us to take ownership, because when we do that, when we can confess that, hey, I messed up. When we can confess that I sinned, now we're on track to be humble enough to allow God to forgive us. See, sometimes we have to forgive ourselves, and we can't fully forgive ourselves if we don't really accept responsibility. It's hard for me to move on if I'm holding on to something. Even if it's so subtle that I don't even realize I'm doing it. We still hold on to baggage. We still hold on to things. And we don't let go and let God. When we become a meeting place of affliction and pain because of our deliberate mistakes we've made, what should we do? What should we do when we have really found ourselves in a situation because of our own doing? Well, I think the writer talks about some things that might sound obvious, but can somehow elude us on what we should do. First of all, in verse 1, he says, O Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, nor discipline me in your wrath. You see, I think we need to acknowledge with gratitude the chastisement of God. See, the writer knows that it's God that's going to rebuke him. He knows it's God that's going to discipline him. And he just said, God, don't discipline me in your wrath. He said, don't discipline me. He knows he needs it because he messed up. And so we need to acknowledge with gratitude the chastisement of God. God, if he didn't chastise you, what would that mean? If he doesn't care, he doesn't love you. That's exactly right. And so I'm thankful we have a God who loves us and chastises us. And so we need to acknowledge that. We need to describe the pain that we are undergoing to God. You say, well, God knows everything. Yes, but God wants you to talk to Him. God wants you to share with Him how you feel about things. Verse number 2 says, for your arrows have sunk into me, and your hand has come down on me. You get the feeling of pain by the writer as he's explaining to God just how he feels. You see, when we can go to God and acknowledging that we've sinned, acknowledging that it's our fault that we're in this situation, and then explain how we feel, what does that do? Well, that allows us to open up our emotions and allow God to heal us. You see, when we get all closed off and we hold everything in, we're not allowing God to heal us from the inside out. You women may not even know what I'm talking about. But you men need to open up. You need to get in touch with your feelings. That's a different class. But anyway, we need to let God know how we feel. What's going on inside? God already knows, but when we do that, when we allow God in, now God can begin the healing process. He's already forgiven us, right? God forgives us all the time, every time. But now when we open up about how we feel, about what we've done, the pain that we've caused ourselves, now God starts the healing process. Verses 9 through 12 talk about bringing all the problems we have to God. You see, we should pray with an open-hearted surrender to the will of God. All of our problems should be taken to God. Everything. Nothing too small, nothing too large. We've talked about that. And we understand that. Our God, He wants to know. He cares. He wants to be involved. Christ walked on this earth in human flesh so that He could be the perfect mediator. So He understands all your feelings. Every one of them. Everything you're going through. He understands. And He wants you to talk to Him about it. I hear people say sometimes, I have nobody to talk to. You got God. That's the person who listens to you and cares about you. So we need to be bringing all of our problems to God. We need to ask God to supply His grace, His wisdom to our situation, to where we found ourselves. Verse 21 and 22 says, do not forsake me, O Lord. O my God, be not far from me. Make haste to help me, O Lord, my salvation. Ask God to supply His grace and His wisdom. We must never lose our faith in God. You see, when we find ourselves closed off, when we don't allow ourselves to open up to God, what happens is we start creating distance between ourselves. Alright, this is important for y'all to understand, because this is something that's very basic in communication. When we close ourselves off from someone, we create distance. You want to lose touch with somebody? Stop talking to them. Stop opening up to them. You want to be close to somebody? Then open up. Talk. Share your feelings. Yes, we want to be good listeners, but we also want to share ourselves with people. Well, we understand that when it comes to personal relationships with each other, but we need to understand that about God also. See, if I close myself off from God, if I if I listen to Satan's lies, oh, God knows everything, you don't get to tell him anything, that's a lie from Satan. If you say that, if you heard that, if you convince yourself that's okay, then what happens now is you're putting distance between you and God. There's no longer that familiarity that opens. But if you're talking to God, if you're sharing how you feel, your innermost secrets, your pain, when you know you've done wrong, when you know you caused it yourself, to explain to God how you feel about what you've done. You see that has that communication going. Now God is in touch with you and can touch you inside, in your heart, and begin healing. We hear all the time, we love these little sayings, to let God and let go. And we have all these cute little sayings that we like to say. But the bottom line is, if we don't do it, it doesn't work. We can say all those things, but we need to actually do it. We need to actually talk to God. When's the last time you had an intimate conversation with God? Think about that for just a moment. When's the last time, one-on-one, you and God, nobody else around, and you just had a conversation, and let God know exactly how you feel inside? Like never before. Oh, if we were honest with ourselves, it was probably the last time we did that. God was just talking to him all the time. What's it say? Pray without what? Ceasing. What does that mean? All the time. But you talk to God in prayer, standing up, sitting down, lying down, driving a vehicle, anywhere, anytime we can talk to God. I don't even have to talk out loud. I can talk in my mind. And guess what? God hears me. It's a miracle. Maybe how that works, isn't it? Sometimes when it's just me and God, I need to say it out loud. I need to hear myself talk. Get the voice my feelings to God. See, I think that's what this writer is talking about. What do you do when you come to the end of your strength? When you've fallen, when you've made mistakes, when you come to the end of your strength, what do you do? I think the first thing you need to do is, mainly you need to remember that God does care. God does care for you. God has not given up on you. You see, when you get to the end of your strength, is now when you rely on the strength of God. Now when you've done everything you can do, you realize you can't do anymore. That's where God takes over. You see, God wants you to do your part, and He'll do His. And so we need to make sure we don't lose our faith. We need to explain to God our agony, because God is always ready to listen. Let Him help you repair the broken pieces. I read somewhere where God loves us as we are, but He loves us too much to leave us as we are. God loves you and wants you to improve, wants you to better yourself, wants you to grow closer to Him. He doesn't enjoy when you're in pain and when you're suffering. God loves you and wants to pull you out of that pain and suffering. God wants to heal a broken heart. When our heart is broken, God wants to help with that. Jesus can understand that because He suffered loss as a man. And so he understands the pain that you're going through and wants to heal your heart. He can't heal your heart if you don't let Him. So that's why we have to open up to God and let God heal the heart. Let God heal us because He loves us too much to leave us in that state. Amen? You see, sin can and does devastate lives. Sin can devastate our life if we allow it. If we don't trust in God, if we don't open up to God, if we don't allow God to heal us, sin can devastate our lives. You see, sin affects us spiritually. We understand that. We understand that if I'm not doing the will of God, then I've got two choices in front of me. I got the broad way that leads to destruction, and I got the narrow way that leads to eternal life. We understand sin affects us spiritually. And I need to be obedient to God. I need to have my sins washed away so that I can be in the presence of God. I need to continue, like we talked about a little bit this morning. I need to be steadfast. I need to continue in His will so that I can have the continual blessing of God, that my soul will be with Him forever. Sin affects us spiritually. But you know, sin also hurts us physically. Did you know that? Sin can hurt you physically. You see, sometimes we don't think about the physical effects of sin. But the bad choices that we make have repercussions on my physical body. So we need to understand how devastating sin is. I've talked to people, and I know you have too, that the effects of sin has crippled their body. And I'm not talking about what a lot of people in the Old Testament believe, that they brought on some physical disease because they were sinful. I'm not talking about that. No, I don't believe that you get sick because you've done something sinful. I'm talking about the bad choices that you make. In other words, if you're an alcoholic and you drink too much, your liver may be shot. That's what affects you physically. If you become a drug addict, it's going to affect you physically. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about the decisions we make in life that can affect us physically. I may choose to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and have something happen to me. It's my fault for being there. That sin has caused me physical harm. I may let my anger take over. And I may find myself in a barroom brawl somewhere. Might even be at a high school. Y'all see that? Man, I tell you. People are too quick to fight and cause physical harm. See, I may let my anger get the best of me and cause me physical harm. There's a lot of things I can do where I can let sin cause me physical harm. Whose fault is that? Mine. It's my fault. You see, sin harms us emotionally. Sin harms us emotionally. We can find ourselves so wrapped up in sin that we've lost all our friends. At least all those who care for us. What we end up with superficial. We can find ourselves so wrapped up in sin that we get so depressed that we want to take our own life. You see, sin affects us emotionally. I can allow Satan and the world the pressure of the world to be so great on me that I don't feel like I can get out of bed. I don't feel like I can do anything. I don't like anybody. I don't like my spouse. I don't like me. Sin affects us emotionally. God tells us, listen, we get to decide what kind of attitude we have. You see, I can let sin control my thoughts, or I can let God control my thoughts. I can decide that I'm going to have a good day or a bad day, regardless of what the world does to me. I can decide that I'm going to let God control my life. See, sin affects us spiritually, it affects us physically, it affects us emotionally. Sin has social repercussions. When I think about the previous chapter that we talked about, we saw the righteous life that had a precious quality to it, that made it the highest life anyone could live. In this Psalms, I think we see how the wicked life is surrounded by many sorrows. I think we see how that wicked life has nothing commendable about it at all. If we find ourselves in that life, we didn't blame ourselves. We got into it. But we'll acknowledge it to God. He'll bring us out of it. Amen? If we open up to God, I think about how God told Moses. They had heard the groans of his people in Egypt in Exodus chapter 2 and verse 25. He said the pain-racked writer of this psalm said that he believed that God saw and heard his sighing. He said God hears us when we moan. He hears us when we're in pain. God hears you. That's why I say that we need to talk to God. We need to open up to God. Do you realize that God is moved and touched by your groaning? Did you realize that? Did you realize God is moved? When you go to Him, when you open up and you talk about the pain that you're in, did you understand that? Christ experienced those things. He's moved. And you open up and talk to God. This fact reminds us of the sympathy, tenderness, and compassion of God's heart. He's moved by your pain. He feels with us when we hurt. Even moans of pain that results from the agony inflicted by sin are heard by God. God does not sanctify our sin, but He reaches out His hand for our forgiveness and our restoration. Amen. That's the God that the psalmist in chapter 38 is talking about. That's the God that I worship. That's the God that I serve. Amen. We talk about serving a loving God. But you know, He's only a loving God if you talk to Him. If you're not talking to Him, if you're not opening up to God, then how do you know He's a loving God, right? How can He be loving and compassionate to you if you're not engaged with God? And so I encourage you, if you don't already, open up to God. Have a heart-to-heart, a one-on-one with nobody else but you and God. Tell God how you feel. Tell God about your pain, your sin, and then let God heal you from the inside. He's already forgiven, washed away your sin. So let Him now heal your heart. Because God wants your heart. Amen. And then when your heart is healed by God, you know what that allows you to do? Now you can help others by your love, to share with others the loving, compassionate God that you serve. That's my thought for you this evening. The invitation is always extended when we come together. But I want us to understand how important it is for us to encourage one another. You see, we're all struggling with something. Something a little different. You say you may not struggle with what I struggle with. You may think, oh man, that preacher's got it together. I didn't look like I had it together. But you know, we all struggle with something. Again. So So let's be encouragers and supporters as we help one another, edify one another, because our goal is for us to all get to heaven. Amen? If you have any needs this evening, won't you come or stand and sing this faith song?
All